Hello, and welcome to my 100th live stream. My first was 2 years and 3 months ago around Thanksgiving in November 2019. That first live stream on my weekly posting schedule was watched by only one person, but eventually got 80 views before I unlisted it, as I do with most of my live streams about a week or so after they're created. So if you found an old Facebook post or something to it, then that's where the 79 views came from. Yes, this is my 100th live stream. And while I have missed the occasional show over my last 100 live streams, 2001's Christmas Day and New Year's Day a couple of weeks ago being the most recent misses, it's been an amazing experience. I hope it has been for you too. Your questions have led to more videos. I'm distracted by what's going on in the live chat. Thank you, Chuck. I'll get to you in a minute. Your questions have led to more videos, which have led to more questions, and so the cycle continues. I recognize that it took my first year of live streams to go from 100 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers. So except for a lucky few of my earliest followers, and perhaps you're one of them, you've probably only seen my live streams in the last year or less, as I've grown from 1,000 subscribers just over a year ago to having over 33,000 subscribers as of a few days ago. So imagine where I'll be in another year. Today's 100th live stream is about the consequences of winning at slots. Most of a casino's revenue comes from patrons playing slots, most of which is given back to the player. In Indiana, state return statistics show it's an average 90% return. That's the lowest I've found of the states that I've looked at. 19 of them have return statistics, monthly return statistics, but that's the lowest I've found on average. The highest I've found is in Nevada, where it's 93%. Sometimes 92.7%, but you forgive me for not using decimal points. But that means that 10% of slots revenue in Indiana is casino profit, while 7% is profit for Nevada, on average, of course. Further, the monthly revenue for a medium-sized casino in Indiana is $1.8 billion. That's billion with a B, and that's per month. Their profit before payroll, utilities, and other costs is 10% of that, or $180 million in a month. In Nevada, everybody's saying hello. In Nevada, statewide, each casino makes an average, and I've had to average these numbers over all of the casinos in the state. They have an average of $42.8 billion in monthly revenue. In Clark County, is that right? 42.8? 42.8. Statewide, I thought it was 2.0. My 4 came out as it should have been a dollar sign. In Nevada, statewide, each casino makes an average of $2.8 billion. That's up from Indiana, where it's $1.8 billion in monthly revenue, and of which $197 million is profit in a month before expenses. So in Clark County, which includes North Las Vegas, the Strip, downtown, and more, it's $4.65 billion, or $326 million monthly in profit. And on the Strip, monthly revenue is $10.5 billion, averaged over all 38 casinos in the most recent return statistics, which we can look at if you want to see these numbers, with $735 million in profit per month. Again, all these numbers are averages and monthly. So let's continue these two different statistics: the growth of my YouTube channel and average monthly returns for casinos. The big question for today's show is, have my winning slot strategies and other content had a material effect on the profit of casinos? Because, why else would they get upset? That's it's the bottom line. So the answer to this question is not yet. So I always like to look to the future and see what's coming. And so isn't it a fascinating answer that it's not yet? So let's get into what's happening out there. But first, we have a few donations. So let's thank you, Chuck, for your $20 donation. And you got to tell me sooner if my cats were in the background. And I don't even know what to call Isaac. Isaac made it up the stairs. And he's very shy about the stairs. He can kind of go up to the platform, but then over there is where the entrance is, up onto the loft where I'm sitting. And if he comes up here, I have a plan, but we shall see what happens. I don't know if I should call him a saboteur, or I think intern really does work best. Lots of energy, lots of fun, doesn't know a whole lot, trying to be helpful, very considerate. And that's so if he comes galloping up here and knocks me over, we shall see how that goes. So thank you, Chuck. Saboteurs in sight. That's a reference to one of my Zoom meetings in my paid community for people who have taken the course. They were arguing kind of like over there where some of my modem is to connect to the internet, and they knocked out the power to that equipment, and I was out. But I came back to the Zoom meeting, and so that's just history. And thank you, Robert, for your donation. It is a super sticker. I guess it might be early where he's at. It's a picture of someone with a coffee mug, which you can't see on this screen, but I can see it on the other screen. If you're in the live chat on YouTube, you can see that there. And also, thank you. Thank you so much, Magpie11, for your $20 donation. If those who are wondering what the 24 cents is, it's her 24th $20 donation. So very dedicated fans here, and I very much appreciate their support for being able to continue producing this content. And we'll talk a bit about that because I'm trying to connect a few things here. Congrats on Magpie says, congrats on the 100th show. We're all growing and raising awareness about our slots habits. We are on our way. And that is spot on the topic for today, because, if not to give, spoiler alert, give anything away, but how will casinos respond? And best to know that before they do. Right? So we'll talk about that. Thank you, Magpie. Right. So any other questions here? Can't wait for the live stream, weather discussions. I was telling Jan before the live show started in the live chat, you can read it for yourself, how my dog, my puppy, Isaac, had never experienced 12 degrees, and he experienced it for the first time this morning, and he was out, and then he was back into the warm house as quickly as possible. Yeah. Right. And Thomas, greetings from Ohio. Greetings from Ohio, right back at you. And Shawana, greetings. Hello from hello in Detroit. And Steve, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Welcome. Robert says, fight to Las Vegas, put on airplane mode. I am going to assume you meant flight, but it's Las Vegas. Who knows? And Kat, I'm in Philly. They are on to me. I won 8 jackpots in 1 week. And so your very first jackpot was on December 27th. That's wonderful. That's great. And we'll talk all about this. Yes. Thank you for saying, congratulating me on my 100th show. Interesting use of emoticons. Kat said something which I'll pass on. It wasn't a question. Yes, right. Penta Black says, I'm sure casinos see your teachings as a potential threat to the bankroll, right? And I had a chance to talk to a slot attendant from the early days who's long since retired and talked to me about, yes, he had a non-disclosure agreement where he couldn't say anything, but he had not been working for that company for so long. He wanted to confirm what I was talking about. And this is a YouTube comment in one of my videos. And I think it was my most recent video, the one I put out for my 9th winning strategy, which has basically been overdue to get that out. What you can do, I mean, these non-disclosure agreements are very restrictive. But the only way there is one way to get around non-disclosure agreements is not to be told how things work, but to figure it out. And so I am not a former casino employee. I am not a former slot manufacturer employee. I am not someone who's gone to a slot machine manufacturer and gotten a tour after signing paperwork saying I can't talk about what I see, which would actually be paperwork that would say I can't speculate what I saw and in the future, nor could I talk about what I already had figured out. So I avoid being shown how things work because it's easy enough when you got the skills. When you put 30 years into your brain to do this sort of thing, and you have a gift. Pardon me for putting it that way. To see this stuff, to figure this stuff out, and then test it and show that it works. It's not about you being lucky. It's about whether the casino has something you can take advantage of. I mean, sure, luck exists, but there's nothing we can do about it, so ignore it. Good luck to those people who win the lottery. Lightning strikes 10 times in a row. Okay, so I think we're caught up on some of the I think I've caught up on some of the comments, so that's great. That was excellent. I'm glad I had a chance to say hello to everybody. So if you haven't yet, consider taking my online course for improving your slots play, 30 days to play slots smarter and win. With it, you've gotten lifetime access, a free copy of my book, Learning to Win, and spreadsheet templates for slots record keeping for income tax preparation purposes. That's kind of on our minds lately. And gameplay analysis. You'll also get 1 month of free membership to my Slots Enthusiast Growth Network, where you'll get community support and accountability. 30 days to play slots smarter and win is discounted at 50% off for a $100 savings. Visit professorslots.com/30 days to learn more about this well-received course, including a full description of its contents, as well as testimonials. That link is also in this video's description. Now, let's get back to casino profits and what to expect from them in the near future. Thank you, Robe. Who says, P.S. Professor Slots, happy 100th, and gives me a like. Thank you. If you want to like and share this YouTube video, that would be awesome. Get the word out. We have, I can quickly check these things, analytics, and we've got quite a few people today, and that's wonderful. So keep an eye on what's going on. I got everybody. Okay. So I'm small. My Professor Slots YouTube channel only has 33,000 subscribers as of yesterday or the day before. The largest slots channel out there is BC, Brian Christopher, who has several channels, but that's his largest, is 466,000 subscribers. It's taken me a year to reach 10% of that. Well, a year ago, I think he was under 300,000. So I've grown, he's grown, he's been growing for, I think he said recently, 5 or 6 years. And I've been growing for basically this last year. It took me a year, 2 years ago, when I first started doing live streams in late 2019, to go from 100 subscribers, which is how many you have to start live streaming on YouTube from your desktop, from a phone, right? Yeah. And so there's these requirements, but it took me a year to go from 100 to 1,000 subscribers. And then in the second year, this last year, it took a year for me to go from 1,000 subscribers to 33,000 subscribers. So I've hardly even been trying in this last year, yet I've grown that much. I spent most of 2021 offering weekly live streams while working on creating an online course, sport community, website, 57 Facebook groups, one of which exploded last year from 1,308 members to what is it now, 18,000. It wasn't anything I did. It was just word of mouth. But it still has to be managed. Lots of people jumped on the bandwagon, so I had to support everything best I could. 250, I think towards the end there, 500 people per day were joining, and I was just pressing the accept button all day long. And of course, I was working on my podcast, and all these things were located online, but other than on YouTube. In 2021, I offered 2 videos every 3 weeks, not including my weekly live streams. We're talking statistics today, so we can start understanding some of these things. In 2022, my publishing schedule is edging towards 6 or 7 videos a week. I've already done 4 this week. This will, if I want to include this one, it'll be 5. Tomorrow's podcast will be 6, and that's what this week will be. But if you include in the last week, so depending on how you define a week. Does it start on Saturday and end on Sunday? And so if I continue that schedule, which I think I should be able to do, it's a priority for me. By the end of the year, there will be something like 10 times as many uploaded videos in 2022 than there was in 2021. Just think about that. 10 times the growth, 32 new subscribers in a year this last year. If I was at 10 times that would take me to what? 360,000. It'd be, Brian Christopher's only at 466,000. I know he'll be higher in a year, but, that's just an easy prediction. So we shall see how fast I grow. And the other point I want to make, and I have made this point before, is all the Slots channels are small. Where's the 1 million subs YouTube channel? Where's the 5 million, the 10 million? There's plenty of groups out there and niches out there besides Slots channels, which are huge. And we are not. But if you want to watch the Slots channels, that's great. I hope you enjoy other people winning, particularly when they edit out losing, so you don't have to be concerned about reality. But if you want to learn how to win, who doesn't want to do that? So I have great hopes for 2022. I'm working hard to be able to pay my bills. And I worry about having a potential 7-figure salary. How much does Brian Christopher make? We have an idea what that is. And that's, it's like going to the casino. I'm really comfortable with losing. It's the winning that's hard. So how do you get home with a second car when you arrived at the casino with one car and now you have two cars? How does it even, it's like a 4-hour drive or something. Pardon my being slightly neurotic about successes. But so all indications are that 2022 is going to be a big year for us. As Magpie 11 was just stating, we've got some things that we're figuring out, the things we're getting better at. It's a big year for us, but perhaps not for casinos. As perhaps you've heard me say, not every one of my strategies work at every casino. Whether it works depends how the casino has set themselves up. So let's talk about what casinos see when you go into a casino using each of my strategies to win, assuming a strategy works at a casino. Does that make sense? Casinos can't see your plans. They can only see your actions. They can only see the results of your actions. It's kind of like card counting in blackjack or optimal play at video poker. Casinos can't see all the training you've taken, all the practice you've gotten using software, simulation software in your home laptop to help you get better at card counting or optimal play. What casinos do see from their perspective, what do casinos see from their perspective regarding each of my 9 winning strategies? And let's talk about each of those. I'll try to make this quick. You may not know my winning slot strategies. At the end of the video, I'll send you a link. I'll put it on the screen for anybody watching this recording. It takes like a day for me to be able to put this up. And it will be a link to my 9 videos on each of my strategies. So the first one is only win immediately, but it's more popularly known as the 5-spin method. And this 5-spin method depends, as they all do, depends on the casino that you're going to. I have seen this operate where it's hand pay after hand pay. And I got another email. Part of what made me want to talk about this today was another YouTube comment that I got 2 days ago, something like that, who were saying, okay, his next video is how he got locked out of the casino, how he got banned from the casino for hopping from machine to machine. Okay. Hopping from machine to machine is bad. When you're thinking about card counting and blackjack, and it takes like 8 to 10 hours to slowly have an edge because you're card counting, but there's surveillance and the people behind the cameras are watching you play and going, every time he gets a pair of 10s, he splits them. That's card counting. and other things you can watch for, that's card counting. We don't come in to the casino on any of these strategies and play for a long time. We come in on only win immediately, and we make 5 bets or less on a slot machine, and then we move to the next one. Lots of people do that. I don't, and if we do 20 machines, well, I guess we could do all the machines. If we're for instance, if we find a casino this is really working well at, where the return is incredible, which it can happen. There are casinos out there. A couple of things. There are casinos out there. I'm getting reports of casinos that have this, where you actually win something useful. You don't have to do my tips on playing end of machines or highly visible machines to try to get that return over 100%. It actually is over 100% without even trying. And the whole casino, I can hear my puppy chewing on the dining table leg. So if I shout, no, stop, don't mind me. But it's okay. If the whole casino learns this, and they learned it at the casino that I saw this first at Belterra Park in Cincinnati, Ohio, before it was bought by Boyd Gaming. I saw other people doing it. And I did it for 18 months, and it went from hand pays, decent hand pays, like 10K, to machine after machine after machine until I, talked about it in my first video on this topic, where I was like, I can't give you my ID. You didn't bring your ID? No, I gave it to the slot attendant who's handling my first win from over this other machine. She has it. But now I don't have it because now I have a taxable jackpot on this machine. So could you check with your coworker? And then, there was a third one, but by then I'd gotten my ID back. And so it was less of a question. And the slot attendants didn't even notice. I was like, hi again. And they were like, they're so busy. They didn't recognize that they'd come back after 10 minutes, 7 minutes. Anyway, only win immediately. The casino will dial down the wins over months. That's the behavior that I saw. By the time 18 months had gone by at Belterra Park, I would just come in and I'd watch, and everybody in the high limit room was doing that. It's dun 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 dun. Okay, I played all the machines. Time to go. It might be there for 20 minutes, but at that point, I was only winning like $500, and I was kind of disappointed. But then I was like, pay for gas and my car payment, and I plan on coming back before the end of the month. So, yeah, it was fine. So, but the casino, must have been pretty upset. But that's just one casino. And so now you have casinos out there. I'm getting reports of casinos where this works, and everybody's doing it. That casino's got to be upset and probably figuring out what to do. So there's that. Now, on progressive slot machines, this is, I'm kind of including like a couple of things here. One of them is, you got a must win by number attached to a progressive jackpot on the machine. These are not usually minis and minors, but majors and grands, where there's a number which can't go over. Now, there's a couple of variations of this, so you have to sort of figure it out. But some machines actually say must hit by right beneath the jackpot. Small print, but there it is. And so if it's getting close, then you play. There's another strategy. I'm not sure if I'm going to give it a different number 10 or something, maybe about advantage plays, where you're playing a machine which kind of is building a bank, where the advantage there is not for the person building the bank, but for that person to not recognize that that game is building a bank, and then they wander away. And then the person who knows how to take advantage kind of jumps on that machine and then gets rewarded by the bank the previous player has gained. This is what a lot of people call advantage plays, but all my strategies are advantage plays. But traditionally, getting on a machine after somebody has put money into it to get their win is what was called advantage plays before I came along. Okay. And that, that's no loss for the casino at all. That if a person had continued to play, they would have got part of their money back. But now that somebody else has sat down, part of the previous player's money came back, but to another person. So for the first person, they kind of lost a little more, but the second person lost one. But from the casino's point of view, it was going to be paid back no matter what. So it's not really an issue. So number 2 isn't a problem. Earning complimentary gifts. Wow. Has that been really enlightening? We saw data from, you could start looking at these return statistics from the states, and some of them actually require casinos to report how much they give out in gifts, the cost, the amount, free slot play, whatever, all added up. And we saw in the Florida slots, there's a prior video on all of this, where the promotional dollars, that's what usually it's called, promotional dollars, dropped to 0 after the pandemic. It meant that the casino, they lowered their return percent, but they didn't have to lower it as much because they got rid of millions of dollars in free slots play for that next month. And people noticed, where's my free slots play? Well, you don't get it anymore. So you can turn off, giving gifts away, and it has less of a overall dissatisfaction among slots players. They notice, but it's not like, I feel like I've been robbed. It's more like, free things I usually get, I didn't get. And so casinos have a tool they can use. Oh no, he's whining now. So casinos have a easy way, and it's not so harsh for us. Just dialing down the complimentary gifts. Now, the special events winning advantages, and this is strategy 4 and strategy 5, reliable holiday patterns. These have to do with promotional events and holidays the morning after. Now, I don't think casinos notice this. I'm going to actually need to have people working for the casino taking my course and learning this, because you got to be there at 4:30 in the morning. Somebody walks in, goes over to machine, makes 20 minutes worth of bets and wins a big jackpot, and then they leave. How noticeable is that? Not very. This is the sort of thing where it's not 8 hours of card counting where you're splitting your tens and it's obvious what you're doing under surveillance. This is, hey, they walked in early. Maybe they're an early person. They went over to a machine. They played for a little while and they won a big jackpot and then they left. And they kind of do that a lot. And they have to start going, morning after every major holiday? It's just too much to ask them to figure out unless they've taken my courses, watched my videos, that sort of thing. And it would be pretty obvious if somebody comes in, a group of 30 people comes in and they all have the same @mohegansun.com email address. Although it doesn't have to be that many, of course, but I think that will start to become noticeable. But if people who are the employees are educated on it, not so much of just watching it. It's the same way with strategy 6 and 7, where you come in, you're playing maybe the 5-pull method, or you're coming in and 1 week ago exactly on the same day, 5 minutes earlier, you come in and you play a machine that had a jackpot 7 days earlier, and you come in and you play through that same time period for 10 minutes and you win a jackpot and you leave. What's there to stop? What's there to notice? It's the training that I'm giving you, which is saying, try that, see if your casino does it, and then keep track of a bunch of wins and come back 1 week later. It doesn't have to be your win. And when that sort of thing starts happening, will the casino notice? What the casino will notice is losing money. Why are we suddenly losing money? And I suppose they'll have to investigate. But some of the stuff is like, you wouldn't expect it. I don't know, how good are they at investigating? So the casino environment, which has to do with, is the noise level gone up so everybody's winning, because winning is on a schedule, and you play when others are winning and not expecting to win when nobody else is. That, how noticeable is that? And location. Hey, a lot of people are playing on the end of the row or on the carousel that's pointed toward the entrance, and the casino's like, just like we want them to. Those machines are set to win so that people win and others see them winning. So how could we get in trouble for doing what the casino wants us to do? They don't care who wins. If it's always the same person, so what? So there is there's a lot of comments, and I've been noticing they go by, and that's good. I'll come back to those. But one of the points that was made in some of the Facebook comments when I posted this link to this video 3.5 hours ago on Facebook was, what if I'm not winning? And this is a legitimate point. Let's take a step back and think about that. Maybe you're not winning using my methods. But that's an ambiguous statement, which I have learned during my paid consultations with slots enthusiasts wanting to take their slots play to the next level. First, maybe you're new to my educational slots content. Most slots channels, not to mention most casinos, tell you how easy it is to win. Please don't think, just spend. And if you don't win, it's because you weren't lucky, meaning you're to blame. That's nonsense. That's, slot attendants saying, oh, well, maybe better luck next time. And it's just like nonsense. It's all meant to direct the blame on you. And that's not how I look at this. So learning to win is a job. I had a student in my online course who gave me a 2-star review. When I went and looked at how much time they spent taking the class, I was surprised they gave me that high of a review. Honestly, it should have been like a 1-star review, given how little time they spent on each lesson. On average, it was 15 to 17 seconds. And maybe, these are 2-minute videos and there's homework. Maybe you move on to the next thing because you captured the homework in a screen capture and you'll look at it later or something. But if you don't actually watch the video, then you didn't see the video. 4-minute video, 7-minute video, spent 15, 17 seconds on it. That's it. It took them just over a day, about 9 hours, to finish a 30-day course. If you want to call that finishing the course. So another individual, as I mentioned, commented on my YouTube channel yesterday. They just watched, I didn't mention this. This is a different one. They commented that they just watched my 9 videos. I have a playlist, 9 videos on my winning slot strategies and was going to go to the casino to try them. What? Even the strategies on taking advantage of holidays on the morning after big promotional events? Thursday wasn't a holiday. And I kind of doubt the casino had a big promotional event planned. It was an ordinary Thursday. So I see this lack of, connection. Sometimes there's no such thing as a free lunch. There are no get-rich schemes that work. Just ask Mark Twain. I used to live in Connecticut, not too far from Hartford. And in, is it East Hartford or West Hartford? West Hartford is the mansion once owned by Mark Twain, where, I saw the desk where he wrote Tom Sawyer, awesome. That's the sort of kind of a literary guy, and that was just like awesome. And they have a little museum there. But one of the things he talked about is how he lost a lot of his money that he'd earned from his books by one get-rich-quick scheme after another. So, you need to learn my content, and you need to learn your casino, and that takes work. But let's say you've done that. As I know, some of you have. Let's say you've done that and you were lucky enough. This is where luck comes in. Your casino actually had a setup where one or more of my strategies could be applied and you could take advantage of your casino. That's where the luck is. You can't make them run their business a certain way. You have to check to see if they do. And some of us don't have a casino near us or only one. Hard Rock Tampa comes to mind, where, you go and you see and you take advantage of what they have. And if they don't have it, then you have to go to another casino and see if they do. And some of you have plenty of casinos near you and some of you don't. If you've gone to your casino and you found one of my strategies that works, and maybe you've even had a paid consultation with me where you tweaked your strategy, my strategy, to optimize it for your casino setup. Oh, I don't know, the 5-pull method is now the 8-pull method, or the 3-pull method, because you're finding out that it's sooner in the 5 than later in the 5 bets, and so you find that you're spending. It's not going to happen if after 3 bets, then you can save that money from the last 2 bets and save that bankroll. And that could be percentage points and your profit becomes higher. So there's ways to optimize each of these strategies, and I may offer another course later about how to do that, as well as combine things. It was too much to put into a beginner course, newbie course, a get you started course that was self led, and the second course will be instructor led. Which I hope to get out by the end of this year. And it will be about combining strategies and what possible adjustments you might make based on what you found at your casino with one of my strategies that works well, but perhaps isn't optimized. Okay. So let's say you've done that. Let's say you've found a strategy that works. It doesn't mean you're winning. And you know exactly what I mean. Under these circumstances, casinos might have no reason to be concerned. After all, they aren't suffering any losses if you can't get out of the casino with your winnings. You spend it. This is a common problem, and it's completely reasonable. If you are suddenly winning because of my strategies, just ask anybody who figured out some of my strategies years ago. I had to learn to get out. I think I have a thumbnail on one of my live streams where I talk about this, and I put in the word "run!" exclamation point. And I'm going to interrupt myself and Burton, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I very much appreciate it. Burton says the closest casino that I have is Harrah's in Metropolis, Illinois. What a great name for a city. I have been there, not recently. I do enjoy the Superman statue, and I also kind of wondered why there was little holes poked in it. Apparently, that Superman statue is not bulletproof. The steps seem to not be working for me. As I was I don't know which strategies you're referring to, but check each. I mean, we have our own preferences. We wish some would work, and if the casino doesn't have it, the casino doesn't have it. So check each of them. Some of them are a little easier to check. That's why I talk about testing. This is the strategy, and this is how you test for it. Save money by doing minimum bets on the 5-pull method so that you can learn if the casino has it, that sort of thing. As it is also possible that you could go through all of them and find that none of them work at a casino. Delta Downs. Sorry. I never expected to find a casino which had none of my strategies were working. And I went to Delta Downs in Louisiana, and I'm like, man, I should get a job here and just help them. Yes. So there's two things that I'm talking about here. When you go in and you win, one thing that can happen, two things that you have to get good at. One is loss limits. It's the wrong day. They don't have that strategy, whatever. It's just as important to not lose your house, not lose your rent, loss limits. And those are hard to do. Chasing wins. Well, if somebody contacted me recently, and I don't name names on these things, but, and I won't now, but they're like, how do I get back my $32,000 that I spent? All right. I would quit. And that's what I told them a year ago. And they contacted me again and said, well, since we last talked, I didn't quit. And I've lost $32,000 and I'd like to make it back. And I'm like, your goal is to break even. Your goal is to set loss limits. If you can do that, your next goal is preserving gains, which is get out of the casino with some of what you won. Anything. As much as you brought in, maybe. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. The people who have been playing slots for decades, who know how to win, that's what they had to learn. Loss limits and preserving gains. The casinos aren't going to be harmed by you spending everything you won. What does that mean? It means their revenue went up. It means that their hold percentage went up a little bit. And maybe that might be concerning to them, but that's it. You know, they didn't make a profit, but they, you know, didn't lose a profit, because we can't, if you can't figure out how to get out of the casino with your winnings, it's getting out of the casino with your winnings is key. And it takes practice. And a lot of us don't have any practice. As I said when I started the live stream, so, you know, I can lose like a champ. It's the winning that's hard. And that's because of the difference in, you know, I wanted to start a business, and I had 10 ideas, if not 100 ideas. And 10% of those ideas turned into something, you know, and I built a life off of that in engineering, in teaching, going to college, you know, the different things that I've done, many ideas, one of which was good. And I recognized it, and I made the most of it. So a few of us do have the practice needed to both win and get out of the casino. Well, we did recently, right? It takes time to learn. You know, I'm right? I mean, some of the stuff I talk about is just out there. There's plenty of people who are just crazy upset with me. I wonder why. You know, did you not want to know how to win? Am I somehow embarrassing you that you didn't figure it out for yourself for these last 20 years when you just lost money? Now, I can appreciate how upsetting it might be to suddenly find out that you have to do this other thing instead of this thing that you had been doing. You're good. Sorry, man. Try to see the positive. So if you look at my strategies, and I doubt you would stick through a live stream, 45 minutes into a live stream just listening, but maybe you're still here and you don't believe a thing I say. Great. Thank you. A sincere thank you from me, from everybody else in the live stream. Please go to the casino and spend money. Somebody's got to pay their electric bill. Don't want it to be me. And we need you. The longer you can just hold tight to not believing in anything that I say, the better for me, better for us, better for the casinos. Right. So let's take a look. To learn more about I'm going to take a look at the live chat in just a second. To learn more about my 30 Days to Play Slots Smarter and Win online course, currently at 50% off for $100 savings, visit my website at professorslots.com/30 days for a complete description, testimonials, or you can watch like last week's live stream for people who were giving all kinds of testimonials. I was trying to share some of them. But I don't share the live chat after the live stream, so you kind of had to be there. But testimonials are on my webpage, professorslots.com/30 days. With the course, you get valuable bonuses, including lifetime access, 1 month free access to my new Slots Enthusiast Growth Network support community, PDF of my book, Learning to Win, and a spreadsheet templates for Slots Enthusiast record keeping for income tax preparation purposes and gameplay analysis. Links to these two sources, the online community, support community, and the course, those links are in this video's description. So let's switch over to the live chat again and see what questions. That's someone was just saying that, if you're going to learn a strategy, and I was talked about this even like Thursday with someone in the paid community. I know who it was, who was like, I'm going to all these different casinos. I learned something here and I'm trying it over there. And I'm like, well, you learned it over there, so do it over there. It's not you and your luck. It's the casino setup. So, apply what you learned at the casino where you learned it, and maybe you can check it now that you've gotten some practice at another casino, but they might not have it. And so, there's a lot of people that will be like, I'm just going to like walk down the strip in Las Vegas and base what works to win on my whole experience. It's really casino by casino. What you learn at one casino applies to that casino. You can check to see if another casino does it, but that's checking to see another. You can't expect that. And so now I say that, but on the Strip, the 5-pool method seems to work everywhere. The return isn't always great, depending on if it's a weekend or what week it is. The new year was hard, but the first week of the new year was tough. But the last week of the old year was like a great time to be in Las Vegas on the Strip doing the 5-spin method. So you have to go easy, and these are all the things I teach in the course is to watch for this. So, but really, casino by casino, I recognize that you've been taught by slot enthusiasts, the slot attendants at casinos and marketing. Hey, it's on you. It's not on you. It's on the casino. They want you to feel what? Guilty, ashamed if you're not lucky. Go out and find some luck. Maybe pick it up at the Dollar Tree store where everything's $1.25 now. Sorry, pet peeves. My mother was a huge fan of that store. So going back, there are plenty of people who are saying they win, but I do ask, I'm starting to ask questions like, did you come out of the casino with a profit? Because I'm pushing. I'm saying you need to do that too. It's great that you won hand pays. Maybe that was your goal. Honestly, goals are so important. If you want entertainment, win a lot of money and spend it. That's a blast. I enjoyed doing that every time I did it. But then after a while, I was like, well, I actually do want to, my goal is actually to get out with the money. And it's like, well, that's not as fun. Yeah, but it's my goal. And so, win and do whatever you want. But if you want to get out of the casino, just understand that's a problem. That takes effort. Practice. And that's where the casinos start getting upset. So checking through some of the comments here. There are the ways to say this is self-discipline and playing with a budget. I use the words loss limits and preserving gains. And there's words for people who can't learn that, but mostly, I'm not a medical professional. I can't help with compulsive gamblers and all the other words that are used for people who can't do that. But I do want to point out, if you've not practiced at something, why would you think that you're naturally good at it? So getting good at it. Okay. Vivian, someone. Vivian is here again. Welcome again to the live stream. And I'm getting a lot of comments today. Let's see. I think I can even tell how many I've gotten. And analytics. Nope. I guess I can't. But I will be able to see that afterwards. And it seems like there's a lot more comments. If you want me to get to your comment, you can give me optimize the situation. A dime donation? Oh, come on. $1. Come on. So yeah, there's self-control, but it's if you look into anything like weight loss and other things, you build self-discipline. You train yourself, you get better at it. And so that's the attitude that I take here, patience and improving your skills. Some things are skills. Some things are, what do they call that? Not skills, but in Da Vinci, there was a lot of skill in that painter's work, but there's also, I'm missing the word here, talent. It's the combination, really. So that's what I think. So Lady Liberty says, has anyone noticed not only higher minimums bets on penny slots and the machines not stating what they are until you put your money in? Sure. All this is how do I put this? If you read the game rules, which are no longer a pay table displayed, but rather find a button, bring up 1 out of 8 screens, 1 out of 10 screens, and you flip through them. All capital letters, right and left justified, and it's just impossible to read. I mean, not impossible, but I mean, it's hard to read. And then if you do read it, it's gibberish. I mean, you read it and you're like, what are they even talking about? It's kind of like stream of consciousness sort of discussions about this or that or the other thing. And you're like, you said this, but you actually meant that. And so you're actually not, you're not a writer, whoever wrote it. It's just not clearly explaining stuff. And I look at all that and I'm like, is this helping the player? No. Is it hurting the casino? No. Is it helping the casino? If anything, yeah. So I see some of this stuff where it's like, is it, not higher minimum bets? Is that helping the casino? Absolutely. Is it not stating what it is until you put money in? That's a well-known what is it? I keep on losing my words here. The marketing approach is to get people started. If I could just get them to click the first button, and then it's a lot easier to get them to click the second button, the third. If I can get somebody to sit down at a slot machine, that's great. If I can get them to put money in, and we're on our way. And so that's marketing. So yeah, I can see that having a complete advantage. See where we're at. Let's see. Lots of great expressions on you can't play to pay for your expenses, different ways that all these things can be expressed. And, when I think about, I am shocked. There isn't more slots channels from a decade ago about how, educational slots. Well, I would love to just focus on spreadsheets. I just love spreadsheets, and I've been enjoying going through the first of the 19 states that have monthly return statistics, Colorado. But now I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. Colorado, and this will be out soon. I'd hoped to do it yesterday, but I finished the analysis and I'm like, how do I tell people all this? Because if I just show you numbers, it doesn't work well, particularly if you have you're watching on a phone or something. So I'm trying to find the best way to visually display some of these things, which is good. So I'll figure that out. But in Colorado, they only have the frontier towns, Cripple Creek, Coconut, what is it? Cripple Creek, another city, and then Black Hawk. And they have the average monthly for all casinos within those, but they break it up by slot machine denomination. And, there's penny slots and nickel slots and quarter slots and dime slots and, $5 and multi-denominational. And of course, all the way across the bottom on each one of those cities is penny slots with the worst returns. But there's others that are the best returns. And Central City, that's what the other city was. So one of those cities actually consistently has a great return. And if you could figure out which the best slot machine denomination was the best return for the city with the best average return, right? Why wouldn't you do that? All right. Well, one reason might be it was high limits or something. Lots of comments. I have 45 seconds. Frenzy says, Went to the casino, used strategy 9, won 300x my bet, and left. Thanks for the course. Going to use the Growth Network soon. We'll look forward to seeing you there. I'm so glad that you use this to win. I've had people who are like, I'm just going to watch your free content until I make money playing slots to pay for the $97 for the course. And they're like, next day they're like, well, I'm here. Play to pay, someone was saying earlier. Right. So let me hide that again. And we're getting down to the last few seconds. Hey, Steve. Good to see you there. We'll talk about somebody who's been here from the beginning. He knows my phone number, not the Google Voice, but my personal phone number. Okay. I am so sorry. The people who have taken my course, the people who have tried some of the things that are being asked about by new people have been actually answering. So I don't know what you mean, Pam, by do I have a cash app? I don't offer online slots. I do have an app, Professor Slots, where you can find my podcast, which is all free. And I have a website, professorslots.com, which is easily viewable on a mobile device. And that's where you can buy my course. But no, nothing with online. And the comments keep on going. Wish I would have known this 5 years ago. 5 years ago, yeah. I was just getting started selling Learning to Win, $100 each. I sold 5 of them that year, made $500 that year. And that was, for everything. So I gave all my stuff away for free for 5 years, more. Up until about a year and a half ago when I got laid off and had to start saying, okay, now this is my income. And I just finished my first full year, and it looks like I almost paid my bills. My savings is gone. And so now I'm like, no, this year I really do need to go over my minimum because, the net, the cushion, the excess is missing. So thank you, everybody. And I really need to say, okay, I think that's good. Now, maybe you want to know, what's my winning slot strategies? In this playlist right here, I explained each of them from my 5-spin method through taking advantage of casino promotions and holiday celebrations. It's not what you think, and more. So click this playlist right here, which will be available in the recording, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.